Hi, I'm Howard Wang, a real estate agent in Toronto. Today, let's dive into a fun topic. What if I became the next Prime Minister of Canada? What wild policies would I get rolling to make Canada great again? Now I know what you're thinking. A first generation immigrant from China, dreaming of becoming Prime Minister. Relax. I'm not delusional. Well, at least yet. This is just a fun thought experiment because, honestly, I'm just tired of watching these clueless, fake smiling politicians bumbling around. My goal here is to spark some real discussion. What kind of country and society do we actually want? Just when Trudeau became yesterday's news, I overheard a CBC interview with Chrystia Freeland. She was desperate, distancing herself from Ottawa, like it's an act she regrets. She's flip flopping on carbon tax and environmental policies so hard that you think she wasn't Trudeau's right hand for the last 8 years. When asked how she plans to tackle the current mess, her response was basically castle in the air, utterly clueless. So here's how I would make Canada great again, covering 5 hot topics: immigration, defense, foreign policy, criminal law and public safety, and the economy. These topics are all intertwined like spaghetti, so fixing one usually means tweaking another. Topic 1: Immigration. Who gets to join the party? Canada has been accepting immigrants for over a century, yet our immigration system is still a broken car with an old engine, highly inefficient. Immigration isn't just about letting people in, it's about deciding who we want to build our future with, what kind of economy we are aiming for, and what kind of society we want to create. Policy 1: Scrap English language requirements for some applicants. Right now, nearly every economic immigration category requires English proficiency, even for investors and skilled trade workers. They say it's to help folks integrate into Canadian society. Sounds nice in theory, but let's be real. Has the US ever required its millionaire EB5 investors to pass an English test? Do these rich American immigrants struggle to fit in or to contribute to the economy? Nope. Meanwhile, in Canada, some of the biggest troublemakers may speak fluent English, with thick accent though, parading as fake students, but acting like professional freeloaders. Clearly, fluent English is not equal to being a good immigrant. So here's a better idea. If the government really insists on immigrants learning English, charge them an actual language tuition fee up front. Once they arrive, before finalizing their PR status, make them take English classes at their own expense. Boom, no taxpayer burden, more jobs for English teachers. A win-win situation. Policy 2: Bring back the federal investor immigration program. Heroes don't ask where you're from, they just bring their wallets. As long as the money is legal and you're cool with being held accountable later, Canada should roll out the red carpet for investors. Refusing people because they can't match their assets with the tax receipts is laughable. I mean, does Trump's tax bill line up with his wealth? What about Bezos? Yeah, didn't think so. If an investor can legally prove their business success and commit to following Canadian laws, why should we care how much they've paid in taxes in a different country? Even if, years later, their money turns out to be shady, confiscate their assets, revoke their PR, and deport them, problem solved. To attract serious investors, let's copy US EB5 program, but make it better. First, set the minimum investment like US EB5, or even higher. We can process applications faster than the US, which has more delays than a budget airline. Second, bring in point-based system. More point for bigger investments, job creation, and rural development. Last but not least, set up VIP express lane for major projects, hit all the requirements, instant PR approval. Policy 3. How to make provincial nominee programs actually work. Let's be real, most provincial programs can't keep immigrants from fleeing to big cities faster than you can see Toronto. My solution? Give provinces more power to set up their own rules. For remote provinces struggling to keep people, there are a few things we can do. 1. Bring back points for local family ties, but make sure those family members have lived there at least 5 years. People stay where they have relatives. 2. Require applicants' children to complete K-12 schooling in the province, but make sure schools are actually decent. 3. Introduce a US-style conditional PR. Immigrants must run the business in the province for, say, 5 to 10 years before getting full residency. 4. Make buying local land or property part of the investment criteria. Owning a house, running the business, and have kids in school, that's a pretty solid anchor. Still struggling to attract the people? Lower the bar. Not every immigrant needs to be a tech genius or a CEO. Provinces should target investors that fit their local industries. Whether it's farming, oil, fishing, or tourism, tailor the criteria and people will stay. Policy 4. Fix the employer-sponsored immigration mess. Employer-sponsored immigration should be the backbone of our system. But right now, it's a joke. It's all about have a job offer, not actually skills. People get offers for jobs they're not even qualified for, and the government has no clue. That's why the system is filled with fake job positions and limia scams. Solutions? Scrap the job offer requirement. Instead, create direct skill-based assessments for high-demand fields. Pass the test, you're in. Even if you don't have an employer yet, the job market will take care of the rest. For example, we're desperate for construction workers. Let's set up exams for that. Pass, welcome to Canada. Policy number 5. Fix the international student system. International education is a business, let's face it. And we need international students desperately. But the problems now are 1. Fake students sneaking in to work illegally. 2. Overcrowded basements full of international students, we all know from where. The root cause? Money, or the lack of it. We need students who are either genuinely smart or filthy rich. Genius but broke? Scholarships have your back. Dumb but loaded? Fine. Come on in and spend that cash. And there are 3 ways to filter out fake students. 1. Require standardized entrance exam. Cheaters won't pass. 2. Make schools send admission letters directly to embassies. No more fake offers. 3. Mandatory visa interviews. Trust me, you can spot a fake student in 5 minutes. And there are also ways to fix student living conditions. We can require tuition and living expense to be pre-deposited in a Canadian bank. Only reimburse students upon proof of school and rent payments. If this policy had been in place, the 50,000 fake students who disappeared last year would have never entered Canada in the first place. Once we've got quality students here, let's keep them. This country should be kind and cherish these international talents who are spending their own money to train themselves. In terms of immigration policy, we should roll out green carpets for the graduates. After all, they have solid educational background, valuable local experience, and not so shabby family histories. Keeping these people here saves us from the cost of training new immigrants, while raising the overall quality of immigration. Plus, Canada's public education system earns more income and the local children benefit from the better funded schools. It's a rare win-win-win situation. Policy number 6. Refugees and illegal immigrants. Now the toughest and the most delicate immigration issue, refugees and illegal immigrants. The Trudeau government's biggest mistake in dealing with refugees was saying, "We welcome those crossing the US border into Canada with open arms." Like Canada's five-star hotel. It's naive, irresponsible, and just plain dumb. It doesn't help with refugees. It encourages dangerous crossings, violates the Safe Third Country Agreement with the US, and dumps unsolvable problems on provincial and municipal governments. Meanwhile, the US is cracking down hard on illegal immigrants. Canada needs to guard its borders, enforce agreements, and stop illegal entries. As for convention refugees, we need to assess our capacity to take them in and only accept a reasonable amount based on that assessment, not just shove them into every Canadian home. For illegal immigrants, including fake international students, I support CBSA, the Immigration Office, and the local police, working together to deport those with criminal records first. No endless hearings and pointless reporting programs. Saved admin cost, prioritize lawful immigrants, and crack down the crime. Immigration shapes a nation's future. Immigration policies should prioritize countries and its people's interest. In a world where developed countries are facing low birth rates and population decline, immigration should be an advantage to help boost the population. But in the name of equality and diversity, we've taken in way too many wrong people from places where values are totally incompatible with ours. Canada, you deserve to be picky. And there you have it, my immigration master plan. Topic 2. National Defense. The free ride has to end. Canada's defense budget sits at 1.37% of GDP, far below NATO's 2% requirement. In terms of military spending, we are hanging out near the bottom of the list. This has, of course, made us a favorable punching bag for Donald Trump, who loves to remind the world that Canada has been freeloading off US military protection. And let's be honest, he's not entirely wrong. The Ottawa government doesn't have a decent counter-argument, nor does it have a concrete plan to reach the defense spending target. No wonder Canada has next to no influence in NATO discussions. Now, as an ordinary citizen, I can't pretend to have top secret intelligence briefings, like the Prime Minister does, or at least should. Even the current Prime Minister needs his advisor to spell things out for him. But if I were to recklessly daydream for a moment, I'd say Canada should focus its military spending in two key areas. Number 1, protecting Arctic interests. The ice is melting, new shipping routes and resources are opening up, and we better believe other countries are eyeing our backyard. Number 2, investing in domestic weapon manufacturing. Instead of relying on foreign arms, Canada should develop its own defense industry, boosting both security and economic growth. Topic 3. Criminal law and public safety. The good old days are gone. There was once a time when Canada was so safe people don't even lock their doors. But today, broad daylight robberies, rampant theft, and utterly useless justice system. The justice system has failed, making crime low cost and high reward, leaving ordinary citizens to suffer. To restore public safety, we must reform 3 areas. 1. Immigration reform. Crime statistics should be analyzed by country of origin. If immigrants from certain region disproportionately commit crimes, their immigration numbers should be strictly limited and background checks intensified. It's called risk management, not discrimination. 2. Tougher laws. Right now, criminals know they can get away with petty theft and drug dealing because the system is too soft. Time to change that. First, lower the bar for criminal charges. If you steal, it's a crime, period. Second, zero tolerance for gun-related and violent crimes. Third, no parole for repeat offenders. 3 strike, enjoy your permanent vacation behind the bars. Fourth, harsher penalties for juvenile crime. Parents should be held civilly responsible for their kids' crimes. If adults use a minor to commit a crime, they should face double punishment. Number 3, bring back the art of caning. Now here's where my exclusive solution comes in. Introducing caning as a new form of punishment. Yes, good old-fashioned butt whooping. Singapore, Malaysia, and several Middle Eastern countries use it, and China had it for centuries. Why caning? Because it works. First, it's cheap and efficient. No need to waste taxpayer dollars housing criminals in prison. Second, short but unforgettable. A quick lesson in pain without ruining a young offender's entire future. Third, high deterrence, low re-offense rates. Criminals who experience a proper caning tend to stay out of trouble. Fourth, possible entertainment value. The government could even sell tickets or live stream the punishments for extra revenue. Topic 4. Foreign policies. Does anyone ever remember Canada? Foreign policies is like national defense, hard for regular folks to dive deep into. But let's be honest, Canada's presence on the world stage is barely noticeable. From a simple perspective, Canada faces 2 main issues. First, our diplomacy is too passive. Canada is practically a background character in global politics. Being low-key isn't necessarily bad, but being invisible, not great for national interests. A more proactive foreign policy would give us a bigger voice. And second, our trade relationships are way too narrow. When Trump 2.0 dropped tariffs on Canada, our government looked like a deer in headlights. We really need to broaden our circle of friends and trade partners, because when the US gets mad, we have nowhere else to sell our oil, timber, and minerals. Solution? Expand our trade partners. If Trump can flirt with Kim Jong-un and Putin, why can't Canada diverse its friend list? Right now, Trump's tariff strategy is designed to dominate the media cycle and pressure Canada into one-sided deals. The Wall Street Journal recently called it the dumbest trade war in history, where Trump risks huge loss for small gains. This is like a high-stake poker game. If Canada has a good hands, play them. If not, fold and refocus on internal economic recovery. Topic 5. The economy. We are circling in the drain. It's no secret Canada's economy is struggling. After 8 years under Trudeau, we are dealing with bloated bureaucracy, skyrocketing deficits, stagnant growth, declining purchasing power. We're now at 70% of the US level. A Canadian dollar that keeps dropping. So here's the plan. First, we cut fat. Economic reform number 1, cut government waste. First, reduce bureaucracy. Shut down departments created to appease public opinion, such as DEI offices and fake environmental agencies. Second, fire unnecessary employees and cut administrative expenses. Third, streamline government processes. Fewer levies, lower business fees, and faster approvals will revive economic activity. Economic reform number 2, restore housing affordability. Without economic growth, any attempt to boost purchasing power will only lead to inflation. Since Canada is already in an economic downturn, recovery requires time, smart policies, and external opportunities. Since taxation and interest rates are complex and mostly controlled by the Bank of Canada, I will focus on real estate policies, where the government can take direct action. First, increase construction worker immigration. A major reason housing supply can't keep up is a lack of skilled workers. My immigration reform will bring in real construction talent. Second, lower construction material costs, expand domestic lumber production, reduce exports to the US, cut tariffs on imported materials, diversify supply sources, and procure in bulk to get a bargain deal. Third, reduce government-imposed costs. Right now, local governments squeeze developers for money, and those costs get passed to homeowners. Time to cut those fees. Fourth, lower home buying costs for families. Reduce home transaction tax for home purchase as principal residence. Fifth, government-backed affordable housing. Adopt a Singapore-style housing model where the government builds and sells affordable homes directly. Well, given Canada's inefficient bureaucracy, achieving this would be a miracle, but it's worth pursuing. Of course, getting Canada's bloated government to pull this off is like asking a sloth to win a sprint, but we have to try. Final thoughts. My vision as Prime Minister. To make Canada great again, my policies focus on immigration, attract wealthy, skilled, and highly educated individuals. Defense, invest in military manufacturing and Arctic security. Public safety, harsher laws, caning for criminals, and the real consequences for crime. Economy, shrink government, deregulate business, and make housing affordable again. If you've made this far, you must have your own thoughts and suggestions. Let's discuss in the comments. Don't forget to like and follow. Thank you.